Jim, this is Menopause Week. We do it every year on when there's World Menopause Day, just to bring information to people. But this week it's been slightly different. We've had 5 different experts. It's been fantastic. And this morning it's Fiona McKay. Good morning, Fiona. How are you?
Good morning. I'm really great. Thank you for inviting me to join you.
My pleasure. I did a search of who do I know in this field, and I get an email from you. I want to say weekly, but I think it's more than that, actually, all around what you talk about. It's always fascinating. I thought I must get her on. Thank you for joining us. So our first point, because you are new to the daily workout, if you could let people know who you are and sort of what you do, but how you got there, really, because that's the really fascinating bit.
Yeah, brilliant. So I'm Fiona McKay and I'm the founder of the Menopause Maze. I've been a serial entrepreneur for 16 years. And for those of you in recruitment, you may have known me as the MD of Lightbulb. We do lots of transformation with the recruitment sector. And 7 years ago, I became really unwell. And I woke up having had a complete total abdominal hysterectomy, which was really tough to deal with. But what was harder was the fact that I'd entered into immediate surgical menopause, and nobody prepared me for what that was going to be like. And the hardest part, I think, really was going through that transition 10 years ahead of my peers. And as a female founder of a really successful portfolio of companies, you couldn't tell anyone, Angela, because you don't get gigs. That's the long and the short of it. You've got payroll to meet and the business is really dependent on you. And it was a really, really tough challenge. But being the resourceful woman that I am, and being around resourceful women, I thought, right, okay, something's got to change. What can we do? So I put my mind to really looking at where menopause bias was having a real impact on women in leadership, but particularly female founders, women like myself who'd grown businesses and then all of a sudden find themselves hitting this career wall thinking, what do I do next?
Yeah,
and how to do it.
It's shocking, isn't it? I mean, you literally overnight you went into it, but even us that sort of know it's coming, have heard of the word, have no idea what it actually means, because you're saying 10 years before your peers. To be honest, that didn't really matter because no one talks about it. So actually, even with your peers, my best friend's a GP. I never spoke to her about it. I didn't know anything. She had exactly the same, actually, probably a good 10 years or so ago, her hysterectomy, and therefore went into menopause. We never spoke about it. I never even asked her about it. I knew nothing whatsoever. So I'm glad to say, I think it'd be interesting your opinion. This last 2 years, 3 years, that has changed. So would you say that?
Yeah, it has. The narrative is changing. There's becoming less stigma around it, and it's becoming a lot more normalized that, yes, this is going to happen to you as a woman in your life, and you shouldn't be fearful of it either. There are a variety of different symptoms, and we get similar symptoms, but we get them at different times, and that's really hard sometimes to sort of navigate. And that's why conversation is really important. Say, well, actually, today I'm really tripping over my words, or nighttime anxiety is the bit that's really really providing me with problems. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, somebody who used to work for me, actually, and she's having much more physical problems. She's having problems with her joints, really itchy skin. And I had points of that, and it's fabulous to be able to say, do you know what, I've had that and it does pass, and these are the remedies that I tried, or this really worked for me, or you need to go back to your GP. That's really not right. You shouldn't be suffering with symptoms at such a severe level and trying to manage that on your own.
That was me at 3 o'clock this morning, finding the body cream and slathering it all over. Itchy skin sort of thing. But
as though something's crawling all over you.
Put the cream on and you're fine, but it means that your sleep's been interrupted and you're not getting that. And again, that then impacts. So you work with women, high-powered women, and that's the thing. We tend to be high-powered women by that point. We're very capable. We've got our careers going. We're sorted, aren't we? And then this hits. And we go, what do we do?
Absolutely. So I've put together, and it's been going great guns for the last couple of years, 2 programs. The first is the Menopause Maze, and that helps organisations to really understand how they can change the cultures of their organisations and keep that top talent. And then working individually with women like yourself, high profile, high performing women, to make sure that there is no pause to their careers. And the program is called No Pause. And that's really looking at reworking your network, looking at the impact of feedback, doing a real good root and branch review on what you want your career held to be. And many women, especially economically active women, look and say, you know what, I've done this for the last 20 years. I don't want to do this anymore. Actually, what I want to do is I want to back myself, and I want to really grow my business. I want to scale it. I want to get some VC capital in. I want to go for PE, or I want to become a physicist or a journalist. They back themselves, and you get so much more clarity in your career, and it's an amazing time to actually focus on you.
Well, to me, I suppose that's sort of what I did with the recruiting gym. I'd had my company for 18 years at that point. And the plan was always, I knew that was never going to pay my retirement, because I was only working 60 days a year, something like that. So the plan was always to do something different that was more of a business again, to grow it. So yeah, that was there. And then the menopause hit, dead on 51 years.
Okay.
And the anxiety kicks in, and I've never had anxiety. And you're then questioning yourself, and you're thinking, well, is this me? Is it the pandemic?
Yeah.
Not even considering that it could be menopause. So yeah, the no pause is such a great phrase. We've got a clubhouse group that's called A Pause Without the Men. So we have it. We have that. So Saturday morning, I need to put the link in. I haven't mentioned it this week. So Saturday morning, 10 o'clock. And with Clubhouse, you just talk, don't you? You're not on camera or anything. So you just talk, and people can say what they want, can come online and talk about it. And that's key, isn't it? That we can actually talk about it. Yes, as women, ours is women, but the key is to talk about it with men as well, because I had a client session yesterday that I was training. And it came up for some reason. I can't remember why. But anyway, it came up. I'm sort of talking about it all the time now. And he went, my wife's getting there. She's sort of at that point. I'm like, please get some help. Get someone talking. Don't leave this. Do something for her. So if you can spot that someone is struggling, then it might be that it's something like Fiona's program that could actually do it. So the two sides then. So Menopause Maze, I get the no pause bit and working with individual, but Menopause Maze, if you could just talk a little bit more about that, about what companies can actually do. Yeah,
sure. So first and foremost, it's really important to do a diagnostic on just where you're at and where you want to be in terms of how inclusive is your organisation to retain top talent. And you may have policies galore, you might have a menopause policy, you've done good work on it, but actually what is that doing in terms of changing things on the ground? So we look at the diagnostics and what you want to achieve as an organisation. We train line managers to really understand how to change performance feedback conversation, particularly, and where menopause bias sits into that. We also train menopause champions in the organisation. They're very different than menopause mentors. These are the people who actually are the strategists in the organisation to do the work that we've helped you to do long after we've gone. Yes. And also work with women individually to help them really plot and plan how they want to accelerate their careers within that company. So it's a real end-to-end solution which organisations can invest in, and more importantly, get some data to manage your journey, because the rest of it often comes with good intent but doesn't move the dial on any kind of significant change, not only for the organisation but for investors as well. They want to see ESG returns. They want to see a dial move.
Well, this has been, certainly over the last couple of years, from a recruitment point of view, that top talent disappearing for many reasons. But I didn't realise how many senior talented women, was it 1 million in the UK that over the last few years have actually left those top tier jobs because of menopause. So hoping they're going to come back, but it probably is. They're doing something else, like you say. Yeah. They've got their passion in life, and they're thinking, why am I doing this for 20 years when actually, yeah, I could be doing this.
And also as well, they're getting the flexibility that they need to manage their symptoms by working for themselves, or working on a freelance basis, or working in a partnership. And unless organisations can really get their heads around that, and it's only simple stuff, Angela. It might be working from home a couple of days more. It might be a fan in the office. It might be an employee resource group. That really helps to have these conversations. It's not massive whole-scale investment. And if you can start to make those adjustments, you will keep that talent. Choose to overlook it and watch them walk out the door.
Yeah, so that's the key workout here from today. Remember, we're a gym. You don't go to a gym and just watch. Nothing's going to happen. You've got to work out. And actually, I see a lot of those videos where people are just watching. You're going to get kicked out. So don't do that. So that's the workout then. We've got connections here to Fiona McKay. So please do. Actually, did I say that wrong? It's McKay, isn't it?
It's McKay.
It's McKay. Yes, apologies. So do connect with her. Find out more about what you can do in your business. She's already given you some great ideas there to just look around and go, okay, yeah, we've got a policy now. What's it actually doing? So if you haven't got a policy, that's your starting point. Once you've got one, yeah, who's driving it? Who in the business is actually driving it? And if you haven't got one, or you haven't got anyone that knows what they're doing or has an idea, then there is support out there. And that's why we're bringing you these experts this week, because we want to make sure, and this is all about bottom line at the end of it, these women stay in your business and achieve so much more.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's simple economics. Keep your top talent, watch your top and your bottom line grow.
Fantastic. That's what we want to hear. Wonderful. Thank you for joining us. I know you're busy this week. Everyone's manic in this week, aren't they, because of World Menopause Day. But it's been wonderful to finally get to talk to you. And hopefully we'll get you back on our Ask the Coach or something else to share more wisdom.
I would love to. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Fiona. Bye-bye. Have a good day, everyone.
Bye.